What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Institutional, and I'm gonna cover with you guys a trade that I took today with gold. This was a very simple sell that I took, and I just want to cover with you guys to not overcomplicate the strategies that you guys use. Just make sure you guys understand what strategy you're using and follow through with the market. It's as simple as that, right? So today at around 9 a.m. Sorry. I woke up and I saw the market, right? And what I see here with gold is obviously that price is trending downward. So there's absolutely no reason for me to even try to buy this. A lot of people are going to want to be buying this because we took liquidity and we might think that price goes higher. You know, we're below that true day open and obviously we have liquidity above. But again, there's no signs showing us that price wants to go higher. So if that's the case, you have to continue with the trend. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I saw step by step so you guys can follow through with the trade that I got and then potentially take more of that when you guys are reading the market. So all that I saw here, if you guys want to start looking at prices, we see clearly we have one drive here on the M5, two drives, and then three drives of liquidity being swept, right? So that's a beautiful sign that price again was willing to go lower, which we see it did. We had this high, then we dropped down. If we look now at smaller time frames, we can see how price has been rebalancing these levels of FEGs and then drop down lower, right? Obviously, again, we did take out the lows, but we're still following through with structure. So looking at price here, if we look at M2, what do we see here? We see that in M2, or roughly you can even go up to the M1. If we look at M1, we can see that we want to make sure we look at price to where it makes the most sense as far as what's being rebalanced and what's not. So if we look at M5 here, obviously I don't really see much of FEG or an OB being rebalanced here, right? If we look at M4, I don't see much of an FEG or an OB being rebalanced here. If we look at M3, again, I could see a little bit of FEG here, right? So it does seem like we hit this FEG, lower high point, lower low. But I want to have more emphasis on what's actually going on. So if I look onto M2, here I can start seeing cleaner, but M1 was what actually made it the cleanest for me. Because if we look at price, we had a little bit of a gap here. That we have this breaker here that took this liquidity and then dropped all the way down. So what I saw here, this order block slash breaker, you can look at price here, we marked that off. And we see that price has rebalanced from here, rebalance from this downside push, we went all the way up, rebalanced that, and then started dropping. So another thing to analyze how the market moves is, do I want to start looking for FEGs above here? No. Why is that? Because here we have that breaker that rebalances order block and then drop down. So if I'm looking at price, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this breaker here for price to then continue dropping, right? And then all I'm doing now, since I'm following through with structure, is I'm making sure that we have a little bit of a rejection here and then I can continue dropping price down here. Now, if we are to break this breaker here, then we have to focus on this, and if we break out of this, then we're going to be looking for longs, right? We're looking for momentum. I'm going to show you guys both sides at the end because today for gold you had both sides, but it's just about being patient. It's about understanding when this price actually want to shift. And if you guys are seeing my dog back there, I apologize, but yeah, so let's get back to it, and I'm going to show you guys the trade. So if you guys look at my Telegram here, again, if you guys are not on my free Telegram, make sure you guys join in because it's all free. So here at around 9:05 a.m. I sent the trade. Here you guys can see the bigger breaker, the smaller breaker. Here it is, a little bit of rejections, and then we have the drop down. So if we go back to the trade setup, I'm going to mark it off. It was a 2-to-1, so we had it around this range here, and then we're looking for price to drop down here. We could just mark it as that, right? A little bit of a visual. So if we now replay this bar by bar, we can see how price up here, it starts showing us a little bit of some rejections, right? And that's when you want to be in trade because it's showing you rejections that it does not want to go up higher from that breaker. And you have all the signs that price wants to drop. So you just take that sell and we can see how price dropped all the way from there beautifully and hit RTP. And again, I'll share on my Telegram if you guys want to join that. Make sure you guys join the link. It's going to be Smart Money Pedigree, all free. And then you guys can see that beautiful take profit there smashed, all free and covered with the chat, right? Now, for the next trade, right, or what you're looking for with gold now, since we are on the downside, again, you could continue trying to sell this because we're still in bearish structure, right? But if you don't want to sell it, you understand that the liquidity is still sitting above here. You want to wait for price to give you that PA. And if we continue looking at price, well, what starts happening? Now we finally start breaking out of our new term high. So let's say we had a sell here on this FEG. We understand that now price is obviously shifting because it's breaking out of this last lower high legs that are broken. Where are the legs in structure here? They're here, right? Here we have our legs, right here, and right here, right? So as long as we're not breaking this on the smaller time frames, we're breaking the smaller time frames. If we start breaking that, now we're going to be shifting to a smaller time frame push to start hitting a higher time frame level potentially, but we can still capitalize on that all the way up here because this is going to be a bigger time frame leg of structure, right? So now, to not confuse you guys, looking back at structure here, we can see how then price again leads up higher, and now what we're looking for is, all right, where is the PA that price is showing us that potentially it can start going higher? So we have broken out of what? We have broken out of this leg, smaller leg of structure here, right? We have this low here, right? Potentially this could be our newfound structure, and for liquidity, we're looking for price to go back up here, right? This is where the liquidity is going to be placed now for the remaining of the session. Now, does that mean that we're just going to take that long right there? No, right? We're waiting for confirmation because you don't just take, once you have that break of structure or that market structure shift, sorry, you don't want to take that first FEG that you see. No, that's where you're going to get trapped. A lot of people are going to be looking at this. If you look at the SMC trader, this is the setup that everybody looks for, right? They look for that first sweep of liquidity, then they look for the momentum shift, and then they go ahead and take that. Well, guess what? The algo recognizes that. So you have to wait for double confirmation. What is double confirmation? Double confirmation would be something like this. We drop down, we reject it, we go back up, and then from there we could take that for price to go back up higher, right? So if we continue looking at price here, well, guess what happens? People are looking for that buy there. Does it drop? No. Does it mean it's rejected? No. Everybody potentially gets stopped out, right? But we continue looking at price because we still have, again, this newfound leg of structure. What's the newfound leg of structure that we have here? It's going to be from this low right here, right, to this high that has broken out of that level. So now we start seeing that, yes, we rejected this, not really, but we're back above it and we're showing some willingness to potentially go higher. So now I can start looking, to me, I would prefer price to break this, but I can start looking for potential longs, right? We can see how then it rejected that FEG again, and now it starts going higher. So now you definitely have a setup for price to take off those highs. And what do I see here, right? We took off those highs. I see that we have a nice and clean FEG at the same setup where we could have taken it below, and we can go ahead and mark that off right there. What will our entry be? Right here, our stop loss, I'll put it possibly down here to be safe, and then gear up the highs right there for a nice little 2 to 1. Then if we look at price continuing, it hits that, goes back up lower, but eventually it hits that take profit, right? So we rebalance this. Obviously you have safe stops below structure. If you're looking at structure, where's the structure here, right? Where's the structure in the bigger time frame? This low to this high, you have higher low point, higher high, higher low point, higher high. You have the FEG. You obviously put your stops below this. I put them a little bit lower because I'm going for 2 to 1. You can see how, yes, it will suck a little bit. It might want to try to confuse you to get out. It then have a little bit of a break of structure, another FEG, and then you can see that big momentum push to take off that liquidity. So again, the video today was just showing you guys my sell, but showing you guys the buy that I could have taken if I was looking at the market at that time. Roughly this is around 11, 12. But this is just what you want to focus on when you're looking at structure and following with a trend. You want to make sure that you understand the overall level. I mean, let's say you took that buy here and you had your stops below. Yes, you would have been safe. But again, that's not the way you want to trade. You want to trade with that extra confirmation, because majority of the times people are, or the algo is looking at this, they're going to want to stop you out, and then you want to make sure you understand the overall structure to actually take this back down to a level where it makes the most sense, and then from there continue on with a bullish PA, right? And that's basically about it, right? Understanding overall structure, looking at the trend, following through with smaller time frames, understanding that this is going to be all liquidity, where it does make the most sense for price to reject from, go back up from, drop down from, and follow through with PA. That's going to be the most important one, right? So yeah, I mean, any other questions, you guys know, just make sure you guys hit me up on my Telegram, Instagram, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys know how it goes. Don't overtrade, don't over leverage, so trading, and peace.